Sometimes in life, you find yourself on the right side of the line.
This looks like what Roger Moore would look like if he had his feet up in imaginary stirrups while he was laying out on a beach towel.
Brent, that just tain't right. I'm surprised they used toilet paper.
That Dixie cup you're drinking from looks like a shot glass. Did your head get that much bigger? It looks like the Unabomber with a hat on.
Now a member of the Global Ag Network.
Ashtyn's here. Landon, you're hereby replaced. I've canceled you.
Perfect.
Much prettier and much more intelligent person that has just entered the studio, and it is Ashtyn Carr. Ashtyn, I'm going to put some sound effects in here later, like an applause or whatever. Hey! How's it going?
It's going really great.
Great to hear you. We've got the microphone turned up almost all the way that we can, and she's a professional broadcaster anyway, because that's what you're going to go into, right?
I don't know. We'll see. I graduate in December. Kind of trying to figure out life.
Just,
I don't know.
Just go up to Manhattan and put your resume up there at Fox News and call it a day.
We'll see.
Isn't that what they do?
I don't know. I think it's a little bit more than that, but I'm still learning the ropes.
You can meet Brent's uncle, Tucker.
And I just saw yesterday that Tucker Carlson is a racist was trending on Twitter. So, you always want to be related to that kind of stuff. That's always a bonus. I mean, how basic can you get? Just insert name is a racist. We just, before we started recording, they just said, Landon was just saying how Blazing Saddles may be kicked off the air, didn't you?
It was on Twitter.
It was on Twitter.
That's all I said.
They're already kicking out Gone with the Wind because apparently talking about history is racist because they talk about slavery. I guess they think people now think that slavery wasn't a bad thing and it really was a bad thing. And so that's what all white people think. But nonetheless, here we are. And Ashtyn, tell us who you are, what you're doing here, and when can we get rid of you? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you were wanting to hire me a couple of minutes ago, so...
Word.
I'm Ashtyn Carr. I am the summer intern for Global Ag Network.
How do you spell that?
Carr?
Ashtyn. No.
Carr.
Carr. Well, she does spell it with 2 R's, so...
I do. I've gotten in the habit of when I tell people my name, I spell out the whole thing.
Do you roll it like in Spanish?
I can't even do that. So
Carr.
I'm too white.
No funny little accent things over this.
You need a little inye.
But yeah, I'm the summer intern for Global Ag Network and Ag News Daily. I go to Texas Tech, so Rackham, in the presence of greatness along these Tech alum.
Hey, I like that. I've never been said that. Greatness.
But yeah, and we were just out here recording some stuff for the network, and you asked me to hop on, so here I am.
If anybody will need Ashtyn later, she'll be outside chiseling my statue. She will be chiseling out a bronze statue of the great one. But Ashtyn, we are greatly happy that you're here, and we've already recorded a interview for the Ag News Daily podcast, and we know Delaney will be excited about the content of that interview and how everything in there is completely inappropriate, and that's the way we like it. We like inappropriateness. So today, Ashtyn, have you ever thought about starting a cult or following a cult?
I listen to a lot of true crime. We've talked about that this afternoon so very much. And so I know a little bit about cults. I don't think I've ever wanted to be in one. I feel like the Blue Light Live out in Lubbock. I feel like that's pretty culty.
It's pretty culty.
I might be in one already and I just don't know it.
Yeah, well, everybody's part of the cult.
What's the difference between a cult and a clique?
I was never invited to either one of them. That's the similarity.
Brent, you were the drum major. You were in the clique.
Yeah. My one-man clique. Yeah. Landon, go ahead and do Creed's quote for cults.
Oh, you have more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a leader.
I've been involved in a number of cults, both as a follower and a leader. You're an Office connoisseur, Ashtyn?
The Office?
Yes.
Yes.
Very
I
much
mean,
so.
I'm not like hardcore, but I have watched it.
What true crime podcast do you listen to?
My Favorite Murder. That's my number one.
It seems a little morbid to me.
Yeah.
You know, I like that murder over here, but this one's really my favorite.
I listen to a lot of Case File.
It's funny. Like, it's just humorous, but they also talk about really just gruesome, awful things.
Yeah, that brightens my day.
Really interesting. So.
Really interesting.
Might as well
murders.
make it funny, I guess.
Exactly. You got to deal with it somehow.
Is it like My Favorite Martian, My Favorite Murder? Y'all don't know what My Favorite Martian is. A TV show, I think it was. Wasn't it? It was in a movie.
I think it was a show.
Lanny, you're going to figure out how much younger she is here as the podcast goes on, because these references, they're just
flying right over my
they're
head.
flying. The old ones. I mean, she gets most all of them, and probably she's way above the curve. But she didn't know who David Koresh was, even though she knows she knows about the Waco documentary.
And
yes, Ashtyn, I'm going to completely blow you out of the water on everything you messed up on today.
Yeah, it was a real guy.
Was he a part of the Hamburglar gang or something? What was his thing?
I don't know what his thing was.
Well, nonetheless, we're going to talk about how people start cults and how we might start our own cult. Maybe that's really what we're going to describe it. We're going to start our own cult, and we're going to let you in on the behind the scenes of the planning stages of starting that cult. Also, in the offing later on, maybe next week or the week after, we're going to plan a riot. And we're going to see how planning riots goes about and what kind of supplies you get ready for. I know there's bricks involved, and I know nobody has to call in to tell their boss that they're going to miss work, because obviously the people that riot, they don't have a steady job. Don't you think, Ashtyn? Rioters are usually on unemployment.
I don't know. I feel like that might be a little bit of a stereotype.
No, it's not. It's the truth. Just because it's called a stereotype doesn't make it a lie. You can put that on my greatness statue. That quote right there. But so we're going to talk about riots here in the next couple weeks, and everything's going to be great. Landon, farming sucks. Do you agree right now? Is it?
I do.
Yeah.
I had 3 motors go out of my sprinkler in 3 consecutive days.
Yes. So do you fix them yourselves, don't you?
I don't.
You don't? Oh, yeah, that does suck worse if you have to come pay somebody to come do it.
Yep.
So the weather sucks. The forecast sucks.
Getting up at 2 a.m. to go turn your sprinkler off sucks.
Sweet. That is, well, it's better than letting it sit there all night, I guess.
That's true.
I would have let it sit there all night, as long as it's not in a prone spot to get stuck. So, Ashtyn, we have our sprinklers out there, and they'll text us if something goes wrong, if it gets stopped, if it's low on water pressure. And unless I'm watering a crop up where I've got it planted and I'm getting the seed to germinate, it's the middle of the season and it's not in corn, I just roll over and go back to sleep, because I ain't getting up until the next morning to go fix it. So that's kind of a very dedicated farmer that I am. I'm not getting up out of bed unless it's just critical. So, yeah, so that's a very great technology we have there. But, yeah, guys, it's hot, dry. It was a windy SOB yesterday. It probably blew, 40 to 50 Landon yesterday?
Oh, I bet.
I saw 4 small children go in the passing lane yesterday, and they didn't even signal. So it was one of those kind of days. I saw somebody, they had a pretty good little video on Twitter. Round Bell was rolling down the county road or something. It was pretty legit. So, but no dust storm and no haboob in Lubbock?
No dust storms.
No dust.
The past couple of days.
Yeah, Ashtyn and I talked about haboobs earlier in the previous interview, and we were both interested in the word. What do you think? Is haboob a Latin derivation of some kind of Latin word?
I feel like maybe some drunk college kid made it up or something to call dust storms out in Lubbock. Who knows?
Isn't that what Billy Madison talks about on the bus?
That's assault, brother. Yeah, so no, the weather's been crappy and the forecast looks pretty unpromising, or it's promising, however sadist of a person you might be. So it's going to be hot and dry and no rain in sight, and this is supposed to be one of our wetter months. So we've got that to look forward to. That's why we're doing the podcast. We've been gone for a while, Landon. How Did you have to Google Map? You have a flip phone. Did you remember how to get out here?
I did.
Because you said you're going to be here at 7, and it was like 7:08. And
I had to go check a sprinkler. So
was it still going?
It was.
How tall is your corn now, Landon? We got to get some farm talk in here.
Oh, it's probably 1.5 feet, I guess.
1.5 feet. Yeah, I've got a lot of that. I've got some cotton that's 1.5 feet right now.
Yeah, I bet.
1.5 feet apart, I should say.
Yeah, it's social distancing.
Yeah. My cotton is social distancing. It's kind of like farming is social distancing from profit. So I took Ashtyn around, and she was very congenial about listening to farming talk, and she acted like she was truly interested. She really did a good job of it. I was very impressed with her. She was very attentive, and she showed a whole lot of interest, and most people fake that. So I was very happy that Ashtyn rode shotgun with me as we drove around the farm. I know she was texting somebody, said, this dude is driving me around the farm right now. I could give a damn what this guy's doing. Let's go sit in the basement and talk on the inner microphone, right?
Yeah, I texted Delaney and I was like, I'm a little bit nervous right now in the car with Brent. We'll see what happens.
What does that mean?
He's taking me down this dirt road. I think he might bury my body.
That would not be your favorite murder.
It would have been mine, though.
I think I would have gotten my chance to actually be on that podcast, though. So that's my claim to fame.
Too bad you'd be dead. Yeah.
It's a good thing we haven't started that cult yet.
What do you think I was taking her out there for?
Yeah.
So, but no, I showed Ashtyn around on the farm, and we did a little getting to know each other, and it was great and wonderful. And we got back and did an interview for Ag News Daily on the Global Ag Network. While we're talking about that, Landon, where can you find the Dryline Farmer podcast?
No Twit Landon 44.
And you can find it on @TraderBrent and Facebook. And you want to tell us about the Global Ag Network, Ashtyn.
Tell you about the Global Ag Network?
Sure.
What do you want me to tell you about?
Well, you're the intern there. You know more than we do.
Well, I know Delaney is a big help. She founded Global Ag Network along with Mike, and so they're the co-hosts of Ag News Daily, and Delaney, she's my boss, I guess, and she's been a great help. I'm trying to learn all this stuff about broadcasting, podcasting, whatever you want to call it. You can go to Global Ag Network to listen to any of our podcasts. We have a ton of them, besides this one, of course, and Ag News Daily. We have Working Cows, Moving Iron, the Idle Chatter, so tons and tons of stuff, lots of variety.
If you don't know anything about the Global Ag Network, I would like to know when you do know something about the Global Ag Network, because that was a lot of information for somebody who doesn't know about the Global Ag Network. Once again, very impressed. So yeah, check out the Global Ag Network. It's a great site and a great network to get some of your ag podcast. And I mean, Landon, we've gone over this several times. Are we an ag podcast? I don't think we're an ag podcast, are we?
We talk a little bit of farming, so I guess.
Yeah. It's only when it's bad, though. And what are you drawing over there?
Huh? Oh, nothing. I'm just doodling.
On my podcast?
It's a haboob.
That left one's a little lopsided.
Yeah.
But no, we're excited to have Ashtyn on here. She might be a fixture here on the podcast. I don't know. We'll get her zoomed in here, and she did a little filming of us and all that great stuff. So before we get into our cult planning, Ashtyn, we've got to hear, this is going to be a new segment. It's going to be a daily segment, every 15 minutes long. Ashtyn's going to produce it and everything, and every day, not even a holiday, she's not taking off. She's going to give Ashtyn's bar stories. And Ashtyn, I want to hear about Nadia, and I want to hear everything about Nadia. So tell us about Nadia.
Okay. So this is a little bit of an embarrassing story. I feel like my professionalism is just nosediving at this point. But
nosedove when you showed up and opened the door.
Earlier I was telling Brent about my character Nadia. She is, I guess, the other half of me whenever we go out, me and my friends, because I'm a college girl living in Lubbock. So whenever I go out, I introduce myself to people as Nadia. And I was telling Brent this just because we were riffing super hard earlier, and he was just amazed at my ability to go with the flow. And I was like, well, it's because me and my friends, we just lie all the time and come up with stories. And so Nadia...
You're going to be great in broadcasting.
She's my Russian alter ego. And so I'll introduce myself as Nadia to people, and they think that it's so cool, such a cool name. I mean,
You do the accent?
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
I'm Nadia from Lufkin, Texas.
Yeah.
And
How are you, comrade?
and I tell them that my parents are Russian, and they think that it's just the coolest thing. And just kind of go off of that. We created stories about Nadia every time we go out. It's different stuff. But yeah, we just kind of riff off that. And I guess that's kind of where I learned how to, I don't know, go with the flow, is just making up stories to creepy dudes at the bar.
So that was my next question is, are you just doing this to play off the dudes? I mean, you could just give them a fake number.
Well, people don't ask for numbers these days.
What do they
ask
do?
for Snapchats.
Don't they? What do you have to? Oh, okay. See, I don't use Snapchat. I've got Snapchat on my phone. Landon doesn't have. The only snapping he does is when he closes his phone. That's the only
Snaps
snapping.
together real fast. He
Snapchat.
kind of gets the edge of the skin of his pinky.
Yeah.
That was always the worst. I remember that.
You got thin toilet paper? Have fun washing your middle finger. The only Snapchatting that Landon does is when he plays like his flip phone is a mouth, and he goes like this.
Yeah.
That's his Snapchat. No, I've got it on there, and I've used it like 3 times, and that's about it. So Snapchat is the new digits, huh?
Yeah.
Man, Landon.
Hmm.
We're so far removed, dude. You know, it was yesterday we were talking, like you were talking, Ashtyn, about where we just got back from the bar and the fake numbers we gave to chicks that just wouldn't leave us alone.
I didn't even have a cell phone in college.
I had a bag phone when I was 16, yo.
Oh, man.
Shoot, yeah, man, that was where it's at, dude. I was like freaking Magnum PI.
If I'd have done that, it'd have backfired because I'd have probably like fallen in love and had to have used my fake name forever.
What would your fake name have been?
Well, if it's Russian, I guess it'd be Ivan.
Drago. Mine would have been Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
We might have to have a bar story night with Ashtyn. So, well, guys, we're running long in this segment. We've got a cult sponsor, actually. They've kind of got a cult following, so check them out. We've got Redo Ricardo. He's going to do a forecast. I don't think it's going to be very pretty. Hopefully he's out from his slumber. He's been off for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So we've got all that and more, and we've got Planning a Cult on the Dryland Farmer Podcast.
Hello, this is Ricky Van Landingham, and if you have lost meaning in your life, have you been searching for that oh so beautiful and oh so important goal to meet, but you just can't, it's just hard to go through life? Well, you need to come join us, or at least give us a visit, because cults are us. We have our own compound, we have our own activity palace that we like to circle dance, and we also like to smoke things, and the children and the women, they have just a wonderful time. They get to serve all the men. The children wear war paint on Thursday afternoons between 2:30 and 2:45, although it takes them 4 hours to get the makeup right and then another 7 to take it back off. But they get to wear it for 15 minutes, and they just have a great and wonderful time. Also, in our activity room, we have cow milking, and we also have, let's see, what are we doing? Harold? Yeah, they're darning socks. That's on the whatever you want to do Saturday nights, but they can only darn socks. So they've got that, and the men, they've got really important and very promising job opportunities in the milk barn. Also, in the threading room, we have lots of women. They have to have small hands, so if they bleed or whatever, it doesn't get all over the socks and everything. Because last week we had a bunch of bloody socks, and the doctors from the outside world, from just in town, showed up, and they put a tetanus warning quarantine flag on it. That's another great thing about our palace, is that there are no quarantines. We require we require social nearing, not social distancing. Cults are us. I forgot my name. My name is Richard Van Landingham. Cults are us. Hey, this is the Radar Ricardo de la Serio. Sorry, Brent. Kind of down in the dumps or whatever, because I don't really have any good news for you, and it's kind of like down and kind of like dirty, and I know it's like blowing for like days on end, and now it's gonna be like hot. There's not even like a flicker of hope for rain or whatever, so we just kind of been laying low. I mean, we seem to do that a lot or whatever, because I mean, let's be honest, Vato, there's no weather, there's no Ricardo, you know. It's a sad time to be alive, Vato. But nonetheless, hey man, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be hot and dry, and that's really kind of all the forecast I got for you. Me and Diego, we just been we buried a Caprito the other this morning, this morning, and we're just smoking it and letting it weigh. We're gonna have a cookout, Vato, tomorrow night. If you want to come over, bring Picha Landon and that chica Ashtyn. Is it Ashtyn or Ashtyn? No, that's my bro. I think it's Chick-fil-A. Hey, you was such a Key and Bill thing. No, hey, Ashtyn, you want to come over? You come on over, lady, and maybe bring some friends or whatever. And because Diego's like, he's still a single dude or whatever, and he doesn't know how to act around people very well, so maybe y'all can train him. But nonetheless, Vato, I'm kind of digging your episode right now, Vato, and especially the sponsor. The sponsor is what is the Vato, like the Colt Barn or something like that? No, Colts are us, pendejo. Oh yeah, Colts are us, Vato. It's like this creepy white dude, and he gets on the radio. It's like a Saturday morning like radio spot or whatever, and it's like, have you lost direction in your life or what? I don't know, some piece of white talk like that, whatever. But you gotta check them out anyway, because they're no good parties. Hey, that's what I gotta say, Vato. Hey, this is Radar Ricardo de la Serio, and back to you. Hey, Vato, I wanna be the song. Man, that's like you get in the big reunion.
I guess I'm not going to say anything witty here, because obviously it's not going to work, because the two of you are just going to look at me with this blank stare. So nonetheless, here we are. We've got the forecast and the commercial behind us. So we're going to plan a cult, and Ashtyn Carr is going to help us do it. And it seems pretty fitting, because she seems like she could start a cult. Would you rather be a cult follower or a leader, you think?
I think I would rather be a leader.
Why is that?
Just the control.
That came way too easy.
It's a lot of pressure.
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
Would you be Nadia if you?
Nadia's cult. It's half price night at the Cult House. Well, we've got that coming up here on the Dryline Farmer Podcast. Okay, guys, let's get into it here. So, Landon, what's the first thing you're going to need when you start a cult?
You're going to need a space. I was thinking you could probably use this basement. How many people do you think you could fit in here?
Well, what are we talking? Are we talking about like fire marshal numbers, or do they have to follow the fire marshal numbers?
They have to follow social distance.
Well, I'm going to say, let's see, every 6 feet. I'm saying what, 20?
Yeah, probably.
How many people would it take to call yourself a very respectable cult, Ashtyn? I mean, how many do you need?
I feel like 20 is a good number.
20, yeah.
Maybe a little bit more than that.
Like a starter cult, you get 20 in there, and do you think cults end up being like pyramid schemes? You tell your friend, and then your friend tells 2 more friends, and those 2 friends tell 2 more friends, and you've got a pyramid scheme going.
It's not a pyramid; it's a triangle.
That's true. But isn't that basically what cults are? They're basically pyramid schemes, because you tell your friend, they tell their friends tell their friends, and so forth. So, yeah, I would think one of the first things you have to do is get some real estate.
Do you think people in Fight Club? You think that was a cult?
I would think so.
Like
Fight Club? You've seen Fight Club, right?
No.
Just a group of guys that like just beat each other's asses. All
Brad
day.
Pitt, Ed Norton.
I've heard quotes and I've seen clips.
And then don't they make soap?
They make soap.
They still like people's fat.
They go to the liposuction clinic, and and they climb over the razor wire fence, and there's these bags of lard. And Brad Pitt's on one side, and Ed Norton's on the other side, and he throws the bag of lard over and it catches the razor wire, and it leaks all over him. It's pretty awesome, but that's not what the movie's about.
And it's the same guy.
And thanks for. Have you seen The Sixth Sense?
Just kidding.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, he was going to blow that one for you too. Then.
Yeah.
So Fight Club, they do this underground fight club when they beat each other up, and then they end up becoming basically terrorists. Well, not terrorists, but vandals.
Who's your favorite character in that movie? It's got to be Meatloaf, right?
Meatloaf. Is he the guy?
Robert Paulson.
Robert Paulson. Yeah. He with the bitch tits.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, that's
yeah.
inappropriate, isn't it? I'll edit that out. Yeah.
He had the his boobs, not the high boobs. All right, so back to supplies, Brent.
Hey, Meatloaf, he would do anything for love, but he won't do that. So, anyway. So yeah, you've got Fight Club. That's I've never really looked at it that way. Was it a cult? I would think so.
Yeah, they were weird.
Yeah.
So you need a space. You need.
I mean, a compound. You need a compound.
Yeah,
really. They all have compounds.
Yeah.
Heaven's Gate had a compound. Obviously, David Koresh had a compound in Waco.
You need solo cups. You need Kool-Aid.
I think you need acid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably need
definitely drugs.
You probably need a lot of drugs.
Definitely drugs. I mean, acid. That kind of really. That's like the Family Feud, the #1 survey on the survey. Acid, probably number 2. I don't know. Meth.
Man, we should do a Family Feud podcast.
I don't know. I feel like if they did meth, then they wouldn't have like enough teeth to tell their friends
It's
about
true.
the podcast, or not the podcast, their friends about the cult, and it just would kind of go downhill if you involve too much.
That's a good Freudian slip. A cult is totally going to start a podcast.
Yes. I think
Yes.
so, yeah.
But that's why they have the Flavor Aid, because you don't worry about teeth with Flavor Aid. What do you think? What kind of food? What kind of finger foods? Do they have finger foods in cults?
I think
Probably
maybe
fingers.
just like hot dogs or something.
Yeah, something easy.
Yeah. Maybe like cheese sticks? like Spankies?
I don't think they would be classy enough for Spankies.
These hot dogs are really good today.
How
Yeah.
classy does it take to be at Spankies?
I just have in my mind like Marilyn Manson. Oh my gosh, Charles Manson.
Charles Manson. Yeah, there you go.
Either one of those could lead a cult, and probably have. Well, one has for sure.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah. And he got married. Dude got married in the hole, and now he's dead. So
Who
sucks
is?
to be him. Charles Manson.
He died.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Dude, he
that.
died like a couple years ago. Didn't you smell it?
No.
Ashton, you were saying something.
Oh, I don't even.
Marilyn
remember.
and Charles.
We were talking about Charles Manson. I'm just having in my mind like his cult, and I just don't think they would really just enjoy Spanky's cheese sticks. I feel like that's just a delicacy.
They are a delicacy. They are good. I don't know. Do you think so?
I think hot dogs would be pretty solid for a cult.
With or without the bun.
I don't think it matters.
Dude, so we're taking our cult. We're going to take over this hot dog eating contest at in New York City on July the 4th.
These hot dogs are really good today. That's because I reuse the hot dog water. They're just going to get better and better.
Oh, I just had a thought and it just left. So, do you think? Oh, I'm sure all cult leaders have got to be like OCD clean, don't they? Don't you figure they all are?
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
I mean, Manson wasn't. But David Koresh, I bet he was a clean freak. I bet dude was washing his hands all the time. Come on. No? Here's that blank stare again.
Charles Manson, I don't know.
Charles Manson, didn't he have the swastika? He had the swastika on his forehead,
I
didn't
just
he?
Googled him. How tall do you think he was?
5'5".
I think most cult leaders are short. I'm going to say 5'3".
5'2". Good guess.
Wasn't Hitler short? I know Napoleon was short.
You do?
Yes. Everybody, haven't you ever heard of the
notoriously short.
Haven't you ever heard of the Napoleon complex? Short man syndrome?
Little man syndrome? Yeah, I've heard of that.
God, read a book. So now let's now that we're on the cult leader, let's talk about the cult leader for a second. What do you think the qualifications of a cult leader are? They've got to be pretty smart. I mean, I don't know if street smart or book smart. What do you think? Probably book smart with a bit of manipulation.
I was just about to say they have to be manipulative.
Yeah, got to be manipulative. I mean, big time.
Hitler was 5'9", by the way.
Okay, well,
Just Googled it.
I'm not 5'9", so I'm not like Hitler. How tall are you, Landon? 5?
6 foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ashton?
I'm 5'7". I'm really close.
That's close.
But
Well,
I'm
Ava Braun
blonde.
was probably, huh?
I'm blonde, so I think that.
Well, you'd be a chosen child in
I know.
Hitler's, yeah.
And I
Yeah,
can't grow a
look like me.
mustache, so.
Ashton, you are now permanently a co-host of the Dollar and Farmer podcast.
Yeah, he would not want Nadia.
Yeah, man. We saw what he did when he tried to make friends with Stalin. He stabbed him in the back like a mofo. Okay, so your cult follower, he's got to be short. He's got to be book smart.
Leader, right? Not follower.
What did I say? Follower, leader. He's got to be manipulative. Is number one. He's got to be manipulative. Do you think he's an only child?
Ooh, those only children.
Possibly a youngest child.
Or maybe even a middle. Middle children are often forgotten about.
That's me. No.
I don't know. The youngest kid, remember in Varsity Blues, the guy was going to die for all men's sins?
I'm just trying to fit you in as a cult leader. So that's why I'm saying the youngest. And manipulative.
Are you trying to... It's not the first time I've been pigeonholed into being a cult fault leader.
Yeah.
Let me tell you right now. So, the manipulative, they got to be... I mean, has there been any black cult leaders? It's always a crazy white guy, isn't it?
As far as I know. Do you think 4-H is a cult?
FFA is. I know that.
I think I've been in a cult before.
I think homeschoolers, they're definitely a cult.
Oh, well, yeah. I think they're potential cult leaders.
Okay. That's
Because-
a good point.
Yeah.
Because they're how many they read the third grade homeschoolers read on like a 10th grade reading level, don't they? I mean, everybody should be geniuses now because hasn't everybody been a homeschooler for the last 2 months? I mean,
I had to teach my 8-year-old sister how to read a clock, and I think that I didn't teach her anything. So
Oh,
I don't.
and it was a digital one too, so
Yeah. People still have clocks.
what's that? Just look at my phone. Well, Landon doesn't look at his phone, but your phone has a clock.
It does.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah, it does. That's sweet.
Mhm.
Like Kiefer Sutherland also had a phone like that in
24.
24.
Dun, 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 dun.
Did you ever catch 24? That would have been your deal. Oh, you'd have loved it, Ashtyn. 24 with Kiefer Sutherland. You remember? You've heard about it.
You were probably 24 months old.
Actually, she probably was.
No.
It probably was. So great show. It's right up your alley, Ashtyn. Okay, so Ashtyn Alley. That's what you should call your podcast. Ashtyn Alley.
Ashtyn's Alley.
So we've got the cult leader down. So now cult followers. What does a cult leader look for in a follower?
Anything.
I was hoping you'd go there.
I feel like maybe somebody with daddy issues.
Somebody with a lot of baggage.
Yeah. Unresolved daddy issues. I like that. Definitely daddy issues, which that could be anything. How many girls do you think have daddy issues?
I think all of my friends do. I don't know.
That's a pretty good statistic there.
You want followers that have like rich parents, like trust funds.
Yeah.
You want kids with a trust
Somebody
fund.
with connections.
You're gonna need some money.
Yes. Yes. So the followers, they've got to be obviously naive. They've got to be looking for purpose. So, and the dad issues, obviously. More men or more women in a cult?
I think more women.
I was reading about Jonestown. It said it was like way more women.
Why? Why women?
I don't know.
Ashtyn?
I don't know.
Why do you think more women? You're a woman.
That doesn't mean I'm going to be in a cult.
But
You're
see,
more likely to.
Yeah. I feel like
the statistics point to yes.
Yeah.
But why do you think women would be?
You already have personality issues. You're two people over here.
Yeah.
I have multiple personality disorder.
We're not going to the bar with a fake personality. Maybe a fake ID we did, but yeah. So well, I don't know. Are women more cynical
About what?
about anything
About
in
life?
general?
You have to be cynical to be in a cult?
No, you have to be cynical to not be in a cult.
Oh, to not be in a cult.
I mean, this guy's coming. I mean, most people are cynical about a car salesman. This guy's telling you to follow him because he may be the savior of the world.
I hate car salesmen.
Especially-
Just kidding.
Especially,
Just kidding. My
especially
brother-in-law's
people
a
that
car
marry
salesman.
them. Especially the people that marry them. Oh yeah, you can't have a cynical person in a because you never see in the documentaries. You never see any of the followers say, "Hey, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. Where are the windows?" You know, I mean, there's not any windows in a basement or a compound, as you can see here.
Except on those recordings at Jonestown, there were some people really questioning that drinking the Kool-Aid. But then it was either that or get gunned down by a machine gun.
That's
so,
true. Yeah. Well, Jim Jones didn't even drink it. He shot himself in the head.
Yeah.
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 So,
Because it didn't have green, he didn't want red.
I wanted, yeah.
Wonder what Kool-Aid Man thought when he showed up there. Oh shit!
This ain't gonna be good PR.
Yeah, I bet he was tiptoeing out of there.
Yeah, he was water. The Kool-Aid was dripping out the side of his spout there.
Man, the pictures of that are just unreal.
Oh,
Unreal.
jeez! Imagine if it was an HD. That'd have been awful. So, so you can't have a cynical follower. That's great to have a burp on a podcast in there, right into the microphone, Ashtyn. So, you got naive followers, fat followers.
Possibly.
I mean, you think you lose weight in a cult? I would think you would lose weight because you're always.
lose
All
weight.
they're eating is hot dogs.
Well, that's true.
But how many are there? I mean, are there enough hot dogs?
Do you think they get a group health insurance plan? This is my cult. We need a group health insurance plan. I mean, you would think.
I don't think there's very many benefits.
You don't think there's very
like health benefits or any other kind of benefit. There's pretty much no benefits to being in a cult.
The only guy getting the benefits is the leader because he's got the 6 or 7 wives, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You get concubines in a wife.
Who was the guy that had that big compound at like San Angelo?
Oh,
Recently got
was it-
arrested.
no,
Big
that was like
pedophile
a.
guy. That was like a religion. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cult.
Was it the same? It was the same type of guy over in like New Mexico, wasn't it?
Like
Yeah.
Epstein or
No.
He had
Well,
a
yeah,
ranch
he
in New
did.
Mexico.
Did you start? They have Epstein has a new. They have a new documentary about him.
Oh,
I
man,
started
I watched
watching it.
It's
Yeah.
called like Filthy Rich or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, Filthy Rich. Yeah, it's
filthy.
it is. It's beyond filthy. So
The best part is when Bill Clinton says, "I was never out at his island," and they just go through like all these
all
people
these
like,
pictures.
"Oh yeah, I saw him out there a few times. Yeah, he was out there." And they have like the gardener. He's like, "Oh yeah, I saw Bill Clinton like 2 or 3 times."
Yeah, right. And of course, they always have to get the pictures of Donald Trump with him, even though he wasn't ever. They only
Yeah.
have pictures of these like public places or whatever. It's not like he was on his own personal stuff like Clinton was.
Wasn't on
So-
the airplane.
Right. So, I think followers start out. Well, no, I don't know. I take that back. The hot dogs, I think they grow their own gardens.
I wonder if they have ketchup or mustard. Man, you want some
Well-
kind of condiment for that hot dog.
I don't know. I think he makes him eat them dry.
Mm.
I mean, again, I think we left out cult leaders are probably pretty stingy.
I bet they have a garden. Don't
Yeah.
cults have like gardens?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got peas and black-eyed peas, green beans, everything. I mean, they got all that. I bet cult leaders are vegetarians.
If all I can eat is hot dogs and peas, I'm probably not going to join one.
Now, what's the meal plan like? Is it like 3 days like at Murdo? You get 3 meals a day?
That's not how it is anymore.
What do they do now? Snapchat?
No, you just have a card and you eat as much as you want. It's like a prepaid debit
Like
card.
universal?
That's what it
just
was
a
when I was there. Yeah.
No, we had a meal plan.
Because at the end of the semesters, we had to go spend all our money because you weren't getting it back. So we just like go load up on like Dr. Peppers and ice cream and everything at the
Hot
little
dogs.
convenience stores.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
You didn't want hot dogs from there.
No, you didn't want. They had been rolling around on that roller for the last couple weeks. So yeah,
See, I came home that summer after my freshman year with like
all kinds of junk food.
like 10 to 15 12 packs of Dr. Pepper. It was great.
America's health. You gotta love it. So yeah, you got to be good at gardening. That's probably. Do you think they have questionnaires? The leader, do they hand out questionnaires or surveys?
Maybe flyers.
How is your cult thought leader doing? Completely satisfied, somewhat satisfied,
Ooh, that would be good.
satisfied, or you're dead?
Yeah, do you think they have like Twitter accounts? Like, oh, you say you're not, but you are my follower.
Yeah. You want to know how many cult followers I have right now?
Yeah. Like, how come you don't follow me back? Because I'm the cult leader.
Yeah. Leaders don't follow. We're only leaders. It's in the name. We're a leader. Oh, man.
I wonder if they listen to the band The Cult.
I've never
It's
heard
an
that.
80s band.
Yeah. I'm older than you, and I don't
Have you
even
ever heard
know
that song,
one.
the Friday I'm in Love song?
No.
Thursday's fine, but Sunday's blue or whatever. I don't know.
I know that one song by...
They have another song called Just Like Heaven you've probably heard.
Probably.
I don't know if you listen to 80s music. Probably not. But
Not the crappy ones.
there exists a band called The Cult.
Okay. Apparently they didn't have a very big following.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of The Cure. The Cult is a different band. They're a rock band.
Now, I do know The Cure. The Cure's pretty... They were ahead of their time.
They sing the Friday I'm in Love song. The Cult was an early 80s rock band from, I think, England.
I'll take your word for it. So was Queen. Actually, they were the 70s, so yeah. So, okay, yeah, we've got the cult garden. The state's most prone to have a cult. Obviously, Texas.
Why?
Well, because that's where they've been. Waco, San Angelo. There's a lot of open area in
Yeah, but
Texas.
those all ended badly. Wouldn't they want to go somewhere else?
What cult ended well?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't
Exactly.
know.
I think Oregon. That seems that was Ruby Ridge. That was Idaho. But he wasn't a cult. He was just the gun nut, wasn't he?
I don't know. What was that other? Have you ever seen the documentary The Wild Country?
Mm-mm.
It's about a cult. I think they were in Oregon, and they like went in and would like go to like these buffets and like spray.
A buffet cult. Those are the worst.
No, they're going in and like
At a Luby's.
yeah, oh man, a first cult.
First cult. Golden Corral cult.
Yeah.
I think
No,
my grandpa would have been in that one.
These people went into this town. They were outside of this town. They went in. They had little spray canisters and they'd spray stuff on the salads at these buffets and like got all the people in the town sick. They didn't. I don't think they killed anybody, but
So when they refilled the buffet and everybody quit, they started going. It's like clearing the golf course.
I don't think that's what they're doing it for.
Oh, they were just being evil bastards, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez, I haven't heard of the Golden Corral cult or
I forget
whoever
what
that
that cult was called, but
She sells seashells by the seashore. There, Landon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Landon's gonna look it up. All right, Ashton. Let's see. What do we need to cover? Clothing. What about the clothing? Not because you're a woman. I don't want to stereotype a woman. So, but it was just your turn. What kind of the leader first? The leader first.
Leader first, definitely all white,
Like a toga.
like kind of full length sleeve.
Buttoned all the way to the top. The top button's buttoned.
But it's a dress though, like just all the way down.
Tunic. That's a tunic.
Yeah. That's what I am envisioning.
I like that.
I don't.
I think he's got Wranglers underneath though. With
Does anybody wear shoes?
Sandals.
I don't think a cult is like church. I don't think it's come as you are.
We love everybody. Come to the fellowship hall and then into the sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's wearing Wranglers under there.
Shorts or
No. Oh, cutoffs. That would be awesome. Cutoff Wrangler cults. No, they're not wearing shorts. Cults aren't wearing shorts. They're covered from head to toe because the women make their own dresses, for sure. So they've got to have sheep in the back. You know, you did wool judging. Come on.
are you just? I'm thinking like Mennonites. That's all I'm thinking about is when we're talking about this.
I know it's kind of getting close to it.
Are Mennonites a cult?
No, they're religion. I don't know what religion. I guess
What about Scientologists, man?
That's a
I've watched some
cult.
stuff on
That's
them.
a
They're
cult.
messed
Definitely a cult. Heaven's Gate. They were the dudes who were going to hitch a ride on the Hale Bop Comet. They all. Do you remember? No, that was before. Yeah, these guys. They rented out this big like multi. It wasn't a compound. Too bad it wasn't. But it was like a multi-person place, and they had bunk beds in all the rooms, and they all basically. I don't know if they drank Kool-Aid or what they did to kill themselves, but they all had these Nikes on, brand new Nikes, and they got under these purple, not blankets, but like purple cloaks kind of deal. And obviously they got video of it, and they were all in these bunk beds, and they left letters and everything, and they were going to hitch this ride. That's when the Hale-Bopp Comet was going by, and they were going to hitch their ride on a star.
Have you ever seen Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, and they just all are wearing bubble wrap.
Yeah. I want to go on that ride. I shouldn't say that. So the people in Oregon were called the Roshnishas.
Oh God, no, I haven't heard that one. Rosh
Isn't
Nishas.
that like with the yoga?
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
That he's on Netflix. That documentary of that guy, the Yogi Master or whatever.
I don't know if that's the same one that I'm thinking about because I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Jedi, Brent? Were they a cult?
No, they were a group seeking out justice and truth and justice throughout the galaxy, Landon. But that was a long time
Like
ago in a far, far away galaxy. Yeah. Are you a Star Wars fan?
I'm not. No,
That's too bad.
no
I like
I
Star
had friends
Wars.
in high school, so I didn't.
That's so
do
cool.
Star
You weren't the
Wars.
drum major?
That is so. Well, that's a cold shot. Throwing shade on my show over here.
You think the band was like a cult, Brent?
The band was a cult.
No, I'm asking.
Oh,
The high school band?
no,
I think high school theater kids.
we were just losers.
Oh, man.
We were just losers. No, they weren't a cult. We were the cult trying to get into the clique. So, okay. So the clothing for the leader. Now the followers. Do they have to? They're not wearing with the leader. They can't be equal to the leader.
I think there's a lot of vests and a lot of jeans.
I love that.
Maybe a little bit
Denim
of
vests.
Maybe a little bit of pleather.
Yeah.
Pleather? No, they're not wearing animal leather. Yeah, it's pleather.
A lot of macro made pleather vests.
There were pearl snaps. Pearl snaps on the yeah.
I think a lot of the guys have bolos. Maybe that's why they come to Texas.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's so. Bolo, the bolo tie. Boy, you talk about not getting a date. Oh, unless you're in the TV show Dallas, the original version.
Or if you're on a date, not getting another one.
Yeah, you're on your first and only date. Yes, very much so. So yeah. So we've got the clothing knockdowns, and we talked a little bit about the food. What's their let's see. What would their living?
What do they do? How do they make money?
That's what I was going to say. Well, I think you got to have connections. Don't you have to have a rich dad? Some of them.
You need some
daddy
followers
issues.
with a trust fund.
Yeah, followers with a trust fund. So we got that. I don't know. Maybe they go to the. Do you think they go to the? I bet they go to the farmers market and have like a little cult stand.
Yeah.
Like sell pumpkins and maybe spray some poisonous stuff on other people's squash and cucumbers. Yeah. I think you see you probably see more cult people at farmers markets than you've ever thought about before. I think the farmers market people are kind of cults if you think about it, kind of like the organic people. Yeah.
At the very minimum, it's a clique.
At the very minimum. Have you had a Beyond Burger, Ashtyn?
No, but I did. I wrote an article about it, so you should read it.
Oh, is it pretty good?
It's about whether or not fake meat is as good as
the real
for your
thing.
body as real meat.
It's got like what 5,000 chemicals in it or something.
Oh my gosh, the Impossible Burger from Burger King has like 32,000 times as much estrogen. That's not
hormones.
a real number.
Yeah.
Nobody takes me seriously about that.
Yeah.
But like estrogen alone,
Yeah.
so you can eat like so many of those and you grow your own haboob.
Wow, the uniboob.
I should bring some of those out. I should bring a regular Whopper and an Impossible one and cut them in half and see if Brent can tell the difference.
We said we were going to do that one time. We need to do that.
We'll
we need to
to.
do that. So yeah. They're not eating. Yeah, I think they're all vegetarians.
So I ruined Fight Club for you. Is the Impossible Whopper just as good? Can you ruin your article for me?
I've never tasted it, but
we wrote an article. Didn't you have a conclusion?
yeah. Well,
did you interview anybody that had it?
No, I interviewed people about like the science
Oh,
part
okay.
of it. But
32. Yeah, I know. It's a big number of
Yeah.
estrogen.
Nerd alert! No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Where's your pocket protector, Ashtyn? Yeah. So they're vegetarians. They're eating Impossible burgers. Well, they're probably not going to town though. Somebody's got to. Have you seen The Village?
me?
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay. That's definitely a good one you don't want to ruin.
I'm not gonna ruin it.
Okay, good. Well, if she hadn't seen it, then the whole plot line of this thing kind of blows up.
Pretty much,
so.
if you start a cult, you want somebody that's blind to be in it.
That's not giving it away, but it kind of is. But it's a good movie. You'd like it. So, yeah, you gotta have a town guy. You gotta have a town
But
guy.
what are they taking to town?
Male.
A bicycle? Like how are they?
How they
getting
getting
to
to
town?
Horse and carriage, aren't they? Well, no, they're not Amish. We got to stay away from the Amish Mennonite thing.
Mhm.
Mennonites don't. They drive though. I don't know. I think bicycles. I think
I think you could drive a Volkswagen if you're in a cult. I think that'd be
a
okay.
van. They got vans.
Either one.
Volkswagen vans.
Yeah.
But I think it would be really funny to see a cult full of people on bicycles going to town.
All in their Wranglers.
Their
and-
tunics and
It'd have
But-
to be bicycles with a basket on it. Too.
well, yeah, of course
do
they got
Do they also have the baby seat attachment on the back?
the banana. They got the what's the one where you wear it, the baby
Everybody
Oh,
riding
Mike.
a bike has somebody on like those pegs hanging on.
Yeah.
to the back.
pegs. You have seen Napoleon Dynamite, I hope.
You ever take it off any
Okay,
sweet
good.
jumps?
Hey, can I try it really quick? So yeah, they're riding bicycles. I like that. And van, Volkswagen Beat, anything Volkswagen makes. They're diesel, definitely diesel. Maybe
Oh,
even
yeah.
biodiesel. They're not using
Probably
any.
farm diesel. I bet,
Yeah, they're using dyed diesel. Yeah. Oh, so they're going to town, but I think only a few people are allowed to go to town.
You said mail. Where are they? What are they mailing, and who are they mailing it to?
Flyers,
Yeah,
aren't
you get
they?
followers.
Okay.
I think
So-
flyers.
So you have a leader and followers, but you have to have people you have to have different levels if you have people that can go to town. Recruiters, maybe? Would you call it?
See, that's where draw a blank at, because aren't followers kind of somewhat
Stupid.
well, yeah, I know that, but it's just kind of like a by the way thing. I don't think they're actively recruiting. It's just, like I said in the beginning, it's kind of a pyramid scheme.
Well, like sending flyers is a form of recruitment.
Well, that's true. That's true. But so that kind of blows that out. I just don't. Maybe not. Maybe they're not taking flyers. I know they're not taking tax forms. They're definitely not paying their taxes.
Newsletters.
Maybe. Yeah. Cool. Well, no, everybody's already there though.
I don't know.
Maybe they're going to make copies for their newsletter.
I don't know. Maybe
They're going to Office
sending
Depot.
out anthrax. Who knows?
Yeah, they can make.
Oh yeah,
an-
there was that
Plain
deal in the
schemes.
90s.
They can make anthrax. Yeah, there was a band named Anthrax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet cults probably got pretty excited after 9/11 when all that anthrax was going out, and they finally wouldn't be blamed for it. That's terrible, isn't it? That's terrible. But no, that's probably who did it though. The anthrax. It wasn't really the jihadis or anything. So I don't know. Anthrax may be out. So we're getting to town. So what about their recreational activities? What do they do for? What does a cult do for fun?
Dance in a circle.
Square? They don't square dance?
Mm.
Do they make their own instruments?
Out of the beans that went bad.
Basically, maracas is all they're making out of beans.
Yeah, my string bean ukulele.
That is being very resourceful. A string bean ukulele.
I bet they grow a lot of gourds because they can
Yeah, for the maraca. Yeah,
make birdhouses and instruments out of them.
mailboxes.
You can eat the birds if you catch them.
Yeah, I'm thinking no, because they're vegetarians. I don't think they're killing birds for
They're eating
anything.
hot dogs. Impossible hot
No,
dogs?
they're impossible. They're veggie dogs.
Mm.
God, can you imagine what about the bathroom facilities? That's got to be pretty rough.
It's just outside.
Think they just dig a hole? Like
Think
they have
they have running water? I
No, of course not.
think they'd have to.
They have that. They like plot out an acre, dig your own hole. And
They probably have one of those hand pump wells.
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. No, they ain't got no electricity. No. They probably got makeshift electricity. They probably got take turns turning a crank
Yeah.
in like a dark closet that makes the electricity fire up.
Have you ever seen The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
A little bit. A little bit.
So it's this guy, the Reverend, and he like takes these 3 girls and basically puts them in midnight clothing and just keeps them underground for forever.
Oh yeah.
And for them to get electricity, that's what they have. They take
They
turns.
crank.
They take turns cranking it.
You ever use one of
Wow.
those flashlights you have to do that?
Yeah. They make those radios you can do. You can kind of charge it
Oh,
up
nice.
a little bit. Yeah, even though nobody listens to the radio anymore. So.
Well, you wouldn't have cult. You wouldn't have cult without power.
I think cults listen to like the Saturday morning programming on the radio, like the Panhandle Greenhouse's garden show.
I don't know. Maybe
sure.
they listen to Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen.
I'm sure they get the grain markets at 1:30.
Yeah. I guarantee you they listen to Ag News Daily.
We have a cult following. Is that what that means?
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. And they listen to the Trading Post on KPAN. This is our local radio station. They have the Trading Post where people look for free kittens and free dogs and are looking for work, even though I don't know who's still you. That's the classified version of the radio for classified want ads. So
Do you think they steal stuff in a cult?
from each other,
No,
from other people,
yeah,
non-culters?
for like supplies and stuff.
They're foragers for sure. So yes.
Oh yeah, I would think so.
A lot,
Yeah.
of, lot of dumpster diving.
No, that's too dirty. I think cults are clean. I think cults are clean.
Oh, I don't agree.
Why?
No. There's no running water or electricity.
They have the women cleaning all the time. Don't you think? I mean, you got to think they're moving back 100 years. The women are probably subservient, unfortunately.
We just keep going back to the Amish thing.
Well, maybe they're a little cultish.
Let's just talk about the movie Kingpin already.
I've gotten halfway through Kingpin,
Oh, that's a good
and I
movie.
forgot about it. But yeah, I mean, any documentary I've seen, they didn't have women leaders, and that's sad. I think they need equal rights in a cult, don't you, Ashtyn?
Yeah, I do.
You have more fun as a follower,
Surely there's been a cult that's been led by a woman.
like the Temptations,
I bet
Spice Girls.
I bet Karen's led a cult at some point in her life.
Yeah, definitely. Are you big on the Karen stereotype, Ashton?
yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
You need to go as Karen sometime to the bar. That would be a hard character to pull off, though, because you're a really nice gal.
Yeah,
Karen's
I
not.
don't know that I could.
No,
Be that
maybe
mean.
not. No, I don't know though. You're already telling guys you have a fake name and a fake personality. That's pretty rough. You're pretty tough gal.
Yeah, I don't know. I have my friend is a bartender, so I can't tell her that she messed up my drink. I think maybe she'd spit in it next time.
Yeah, no, I never send food back.
Oh, me neither.
No, cult people. That was probably the last straw before they joined the cult. They had to. They got sent something back. Somebody spit in it, and they were just done with society. And they went like 10 miles out, and there was the compound and no windows. And
Yeah, what do you think is the last straw for somebody to get into the cult? They've got to hit kind of rock bottom, don't you think?
I would say, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's definitely a breaking point. Whether it's, I don't know, stubbing your toe for the last time, like twice in a day, that would send me to a
I don't
cult.
know. Maybe if you have to like fix 3 motors in your sprinkler 3 days in a
If
row.
if I would have had a 4th motor to fix on day 4, I would have been in a cult. I'm done.
Well, the last time I played golf a couple weeks ago, I had the fourth bogey in a row, and I missed a 2-foot putt. I almost quit golf and started a cult that day.
I like bogeys.
I was furious. I almost quit. Unfortunately, I played well on the back 9 and made me want to come back.
Go back out again.
I know what. It's so frustrating. So, what did we say? We said they do dance in circles for fun. Any sports? Maybe. I would think they'd play baseball but like what would they use
I'd
baseball?
say
Maybe
probably basketball. Oh yeah, kickball's good.
They got. I think when they play sports, though, they have lace-up boots that like go up to their knees. I just see them doing that, and that's where the cutoff Wranglers come into play.
I still think they play kickball barefoot. They probably play some dodgeball.
They're not the Flintstones.
It's probably like a big whatever you did in PE. It's probably like dodgeball, kickball,
Climbing the rope. I think they got rope climb.
climbing a rope.
Rope climb. Did we ever play like a? It wasn't really lacrosse, but did you ever have the deals with the basket, the lacrosse sticks with the baskets in them? Seems like we played that once. Yeah.
I was in real sports. I don't remember.
In the 4th grade.
They probably play that volleyball game where like 10 people are holding a sheet and you have to like throw the ball over and then the other people have to catch it with their sheet.
Oh
Did
yeah.
y'all ever do that?
Oh, they did the parachute. I bet. Everybody gets around the big sheet and you start the air and make a big parachute and they got under it and you look everybody awkward and say, "When are we getting out of here?"
And they probably do projects where like the kids like try to make something with the eggs to like throw off a roof and the eggs don't break.
Yeah. Oh, I did that. I totally did that. And I didn't join a cult, so I dodged that bullet. So, yeah, I would say they're doing pretty basic athletic activities. So, let's see. We've covered athletics, food, sleeping arrangements.
A lot of bunk beds.
A lot of bunk. I think bunk beds are big.
Maybe a lot of floor pallets.
Yeah.
What do my boys have upstairs? They have trundle beds. Trundle beds. I bet there's a lot of those.
Probably a lot of those cheap fold-out cots from Walmart.
You think they use My Pillows?
No.
No, they don't. They don't get My Pillow. The guy from the.
The only person that's my pillow is probably the leader.
The
He's
leader.
like, that's that pillow is mine.
Yeah, that is my
Give me
pillow.
that. Give me that.
Yeah. I bet they're pretty. Yeah. So their sleeping arrangements. Do you think they let the couple sleep together, or is it all men together, all women together?
They probably like don't let them be couples when they show up. Like
Everybody's married to the leader.
probably.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how it usually works. Well, at least all the women. I think the men are like, I don't know, maybe they're all bodyguards.
Yeah, the leader probably does pretty well.
Do you think couples are more? So are couples more likely to join a cult or single people?
I would say single people because the odds of having 2 people want to join a cult.
But in a couple, one of them is going to talk the other one into it, aren't they?
Well, hopefully, ideally, one of them is going to talk the other one out of it.
Well, that's the flip side of the coin there. I don't know. Single people are kind of a cult in themselves. I was in that cult a long time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the single cult. We didn't even know we were a member of something. It's kind of interesting. All right, we've covered relationships. We've covered food. We've covered athletics.
We've covered our
transportation.
Pathetic single lives.
Our pathetic youths. Our issues we never knew we had. Join us next week where we hear Dr. Landon Nolan and your questions on NPR. This week, cotton candy and why it's bad for you.
Next week, Landon calls Dr. Fraser Crane.
This week, we have Ashtyn Carr on NPR Radio. What was your favorite murder, Ashtyn? I like it where the guy got his head cut off and then he walked around for another 10 minutes and then he picked it up with his left hand and stuck it back on there. That was my favorite murder.
Exactly.
Thank you, Ashtyn, for that great story. And now, here's a message from one of our great sponsors. NPR does have some good podcasts, though. You know what I'm getting at with that whole soothing voice, the really
absolutely.
deep. Oh yeah,
I don't listen to any of NPR, but I know,
okay.
I know what you're talking
know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's a great medium. So, Ashtyn, any other thoughts? I've never thought about a cult as much as I have until you showed up for some reason. It's kind of weird.
I don't know.
Let's see. We've got all the transportation. I think we about wrapped it up. Music. They're making their own music. I know, but is it more? It's probably folk. Got to be folk music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of instrumentals.
Acapella. Well, I bet they do a lot of acapella too.
Here comes treble. No.
Here comes treble. That's good. That's a good quote to
Do
finish.
you think there's any way to like peacefully disband a cult? Do you think they're ever like,
I think
man, what did we do? Or does it always have to be like a dramatic?
Oh no, it's dramatic. Either the ATF, the FBI, or the Flavor Raid are all showing up.
Yeah, maybe the Texas Rangers and the FBI are showing up in stock trailers.
All right, y'all get in the back.
Well, that's what they did at Waco. That's what they tried.
Yeah. Did they get the stock horse train?
Yeah.
I thought they came with buses.
Their first attempt, they tried to pretend like it was there's a bunch of guys hiding in stock trailers, and they were like ready for them. And they like shot the crap out of them. It was bad.
Probably didn't clean them out first. They were all pissed off.
And then they had to bring in the big guns.
Literally. And then they set their own building on fire.
Yeah.
Went out in a blaze of glory.
Killed a bunch of kids.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Well, guys, we've covered just about everything we can on a cult, and hopefully you'll join our cult. That's the Dryland Farmer Podcast on the Global Ag Network, which we have a proud intern for that network. And maybe we can get her on here. Maybe we hadn't scared. I don't think you can scare her off, Ashtyn. She is quite the character and very, very smooth on the radio. And we are glad to have her. Ashtyn, any other final words you want to get out there to anybody?
If you're looking to start a cult and you need a leader, we're looking for more women leaders out there. So hit me up on Twitter at Ashtyn_Carr.
I love
2
it.
R's.
2 R's, ASHTYN. You got to get it right because it doesn't work otherwise. And you're going to find Landon at NoTwitLandon44, and that's 2 T's on the twit. Yep. So don't make the mistake because it kind of does make sense to just have the 1 T. So guys, until next time, this is going to be like a super long one. This is like almost an hour between 2 segments. So I would like to do a 2-parter. That way we don't have to work again next week. But, this is kind of fun. So we might make it just a 1-parter. But y'all stay safe out there. I don't think you have to. Do you have to worry about social distancing anymore in Lubbock?
No.
Okay, good. Because Hereford, we never even did it. I mean, they shut down like 1 gas station.
I should have worn my mask in here. That'd have been awesome.
You'd have been awesome. Yeah, well, you would have sounded about like you usually do. So sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher. So, guys, until next time, y'all stay safe out there. Try to send us some rain, and we'll ask you, what side of the line are you? The Dryland Farmer Podcast brought to you by Cults Are Us. Come find meaning in our wonderful community palace. 1-800-CULTS. The Dryland Farmer Podcast, all rights reserved 2020, a member of the Global Ag Network.